opportunity could go awry if that is too far right.
You think golf is polite clapping and whispered conversations? Think again. The 2025 season forgot its manners. Legends lost their minds. Internet stars faced cheating accusations. We saw protests and chaos. If you thought the drama ended with the final putt, you are wrong. This is the breakdown of the madness that defined the year. Let's start with a story where 18 seconds destroyed an entire season. Head over to the Korn Ferry Tour Finals, the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship. Bryson Nimmer is fighting for his life out there. He is trying to earn his PGA Tour card for 2026. The pressure is heavy. In round 1, Nimmer is on the 18th hole. He faces a tough approach shot. The wind is swirling. The stakes are high. He takes his time. He takes a lot of time. 68 seconds to be exact. The limit? 50 seconds. He was already on the clock. He had already been warned. The officials didn't hesitate. One-shot penalty. Bang. That penalty contributed to a missed cut. That missed cut dropped him to 47th in the standings. That drop cost him his PGA Tour card. Imagine that. Wait 18 extra seconds, lose your job for the next year. Nimmer and his playing partners were furious. They argued the clock was unfair. They said the situation dictated the time. But the rule book doesn't care about your feelings. And it definitely doesn't care about your career trajectory. From tragic timing to absolute absurdity, let's look at the weirdest hazard of the year. Rory McIlroy found himself in a situation that sounds like a cartoon sketch at the Australian Open, round 3 at Royal Melbourne. Rory hits it into the rough. He walks up to his ball, and sitting right there, like a trap set by Mario Kart, is a banana peel. Someone had just tossed it. Now, under the rules, a banana peel is a loose impediment. You can move it. But if you move it and your ball moves, penalty. The peel was sitting so close to the ball, woven into the grass, that Rory froze. He did the math in his head. Is it worth the risk? He decided no. He played the shot with the banana peel right there. He didn't call an official. He just whacked it. It was an absurd scene. The world number 3, defeated by a piece of fruit garbage. He later said he was confident in the decision, but fans were losing it. Can we get some common sense in the rules? Can we treat trash like trash? Apparently not. Before we move on to the next disaster, do me a favor. Don't be like a slow player. Smash that subscribe button right now. It takes less than a second, and unlike Bryson Nimmer, you won't get penalized for it. Speaking of people who struggle with the clock, let's talk about the one thing that drives every golfer insane. Slow play. Few things test a human being's patience like being paired with someone who treats every swing like they are solving a calculus equation. Enter the first round of the 2025 US Women's Open at Erin Hills. You have Charley Hull, fast, aggressive, plays like she has a dinner reservation she can't miss. Then you have Nelly Korda, also quick. And then you have Lexi Thompson. Thompson is a legend, sure, but speed is not her specialty. On the very first green, the vibes were already off. Hull was visibly vibrating with frustration. She was taking deep breaths. She was muttering to herself. It was the universal body language of someone whose soul is slowly leaving their body. By the 9th tee, Hull was done pretending. She literally sat down on the grass. She didn't lean on her bag. She just plopped down on the tee box like she was waiting for a late bus in the rain. The image went viral instantly. Now, Hull has never been shy about this. She once said she wanted ruthless penalties. She said if you get 3 bad times, you should lose your tour card. Send them back to Q school. That is scorched earth policy, and frankly, I love it. Thompson stayed quiet during the round, but she fired back days later. She said, "I'm not as fast as my playing partners, but I'm also the last person that wants to be out there for 6 hours." Fair point. But when you are grouped with 2 Ferraris and you are driving a tractor, you are going to look slow. The lesson here? Speed kills, but the lack of it kills the vibe even faster. Now, if Charley Hull sat down, our next golfer might make you fall asleep standing up. We have to talk about the king of the shuffle, Patrick Cantlay. The man treats settling into his stance like he is trying to stomp grapes for wine. Tour Championship, final round. Cantlay is tied for the lead with Tommy Fleetwood, $10 million on the line. but they fell 2 holes behind in a 30-player field. How do you fall 2 holes behind when there is barely anyone on the course? The officials put them on the clock. The cameras zoomed in on Cantlay's feet. He shuffled, and shuffled, and shuffled. Jason Paige tweeted, "If you watch, you can actually see the grass growing under Patrick Cantlay's feet." Then, Phil Mickelson entered the chat. Phil, who never misses a chance to stir the pot, retweeted it. He added, "Absolutely savage." While the internet was laughing, Cantlay found the rough. He bogeyed the hole. He dropped out of first place. He watched Fleetwood take the trophy. He watched $5 million slip away. Cantlay defended himself later. He said he takes his time to make the right decision. But when a legend of the game is trolling you on Twitter while you are playing for the FedEx Cup, maybe it's time to pick up the pace. Sometimes, though, rushing isn't the problem. Sometimes the problem is just brain fog. Let's go to the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth. Marcel Siem, veteran pro, a guy who has been around the block. He is cruising through his opening round. He gets to the par 5 18th. He blasts his tee shot towards the water. Splash? Maybe. He thinks it's lost. So, being a prudent golfer, he hits a provisional ball. Smart, right? Wrong. See, the officials later ruled that his original ball was definitely in the hazard. Because it was in the hazard, the rules say you cannot play a provisional ball for a ball that is known to be in a penalty area. You have to take the penalty drop and move on. By playing the provisional, he played a wrong ball. The result? Disqualification. Siem was stunned. He went on social media. He looked tired. He insisted it was an honest mistake. He wasn't trying to cheat. He was just fatigued. But that is the brutal nature of golf. You can hit 68 perfect shots, make 1 administrative error, and your tournament is over. Pack your bags, Marcel. See you next week. If you think that DQ was harsh, let's talk about the ultimate scorecard tragedy. Heather Angell. She is a teaching pro. She qualified for the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, a major. It was 100 degrees in Frisco, Texas. She battled for 6 hours. She was exhausted. She has health issues with blood sugar. Brain fog set in. She made a 6 on the 16th hole. She wrote down a 5. She signed it. Disqualified. No appeal. No mercy. She later said the officials never told her about the new 15-minute grace period to fix errors. By the time they called her, it was too late. Her major championship dream ended because of a pencil error. That is tough to watch. From pencil errors to tiny movements that cause massive heartbreak. We're talking about Ben Kohles at PGA Tour Q School. This is the tournament where dreams are made or crushed. Kohles is tied for the lead in the final round. He is on the 8th hole. He is clearing some loose impediments around his ball. Leaves, twigs, standard stuff. But then, the ball moves, just a tiny bit. His heart must have stopped. He called it on himself. 1-shot penalty. That rattled him. He made a double bogey. Then, on the very next hole, he put one in the water. Another double bogey. He finished T29. He missed his tour card by the thinnest of margins. The internet debated this one fiercely. Should a tiny, accidental movement cost a man his livelihood? Probably not. But until they rewrite the rule book, keep your hands in your pockets. Or subscribe for a mulligan. Sometimes the rule violations aren't physical, they are visual. Corn Ferry Tour, Memorial Health Championship. Nelson Ledesma's caddy flashes 4 fingers to Cole Hammer. He is signaling, "We hit a 4-iron." Hammer nods. That is advice. Rule 10.2a. You cannot ask for or give advice to an opponent. Hammer realized it after the round. He self-reported. The result? They had signed incorrect scorecards because they didn't add the penalty strokes. Disqualification. Both of them. Double DQ. Hammer was stunned. It was a casual hand signal. But in golf, a finger wag is as deadly as a shank. In a year of DQs, we also saw moments of pure honesty. Contrast that with Davis Riley, CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Round 2. Riley looks at his rangefinder. He realizes he accidentally left the slope mode on. Nobody saw him. Nobody would have known. He could have kept quiet. Instead, he called an official. "I messed up!" 2-shot penalty. That penalty pushed him outside the cut line. He was going home. But then, he eagled the 18th hole. He made the cut on the number. The golf gods rewarded the honesty. It was a beautiful moment of integrity in a year full of sketchiness. While Riley was honest, others found themselves in the murky waters of the Internet Invitational. Big Cedar Lodge, Paige Spiranac, the queen of golf social media. Her team is in the finals. Her partner, Malosi Togisala, is in the fescue. Spiranac walks ahead of the ball. She steps on the grass. She presses it down. She creates a nice, clean path for the shot. Peter Finch, the YouTuber, spotted it immediately. That is a violation of Rule 8.1. You cannot improve the line of play. When she was confronted, her response was shocking. I thought you could do that. I didn't realize you couldn't do that." Really? You are a professional golfer. You played D1, you played pro, and you don't know you can't stomp down the grass in front of your ball? Whether it was ignorance or gamesmanship, it looked bad. But Spiranac wasn't the only one in that tournament under fire. Her partner, Malosi Togisala, got caught up too. In the final match, cameras caught him fiddling with his rangefinder. The accusation? He was using the slope function. That measures elevation changes. It is banned in competition. He denied it. No penalty was issued. But it cast a shadow over the whole influencer golf scene. These guys play for millions of views and lots of money. If they aren't playing by the rules, is it even golf? If the influencers were murky, this next pro got caught red-handed. Sam Bairstow, Nexo Championship. His ball moved in the rough. He didn't replace it. He didn't take a penalty. He signed his card, DQ. But then, video emerged. He had denied it initially. The tour fined him €25,000 for breaching the code of behavior. Other pros were furious. They wanted a suspension. They called it cheating. A fine is just a fee. If you break the trust of the field, money doesn't fix that. Speaking of suspensions, let's talk about reckless behavior. Cedric Gugler. He plays on the Hotel Planner Tour. He played from the wrong spot on the putting greens multiple times in one round. Not once, multiple times. The officials didn't just DQ him. They called it a reckless infringement. They suspended him for 10 events. That is a massive ban. Gugler appealed. He lost. It brings up a good point. At the pro level, you are expected to know the rules. If you treat the rulebook like a suggestion, you are going to get hammered. From breaking rules to breaking composure. Some guys get snarky. Some guys go nuclear. Tyrrell Hatton treats anger like performance art. Round 2 at Quail Hollow. Hatton is 5 under. He is flying. He steps up to the 18th tee. He hooks it into the creek. Splash. He turns to his driver. He stares at it like it owes him money. He calls it a piece of censored S-word right into a hot mic. But he isn't done. He takes his drop. He chunks his 3rd shot. He chunks his 4th shot. He is melting down in real time. He bends down, and he spits. He literally spits on the spot where his ball was sitting, like the earth had personally insulted his ancestors. He made a triple bogey 7. He fell out of contention. Millions of people watched a grown man spit at the ground because he hit a bad golf shot. It was pure, unfiltered chaos. As a golf fan, not going to lie, that kinda hurt. Sometimes the hurt comes from bad luck and other people's laziness. Let's go back to Quail Hollow. Shane Lowry, the Open Championship, Royal Portrush. Lowry is a fan favorite. He hits a perfect drive on the 8th, stripes it. He walks up, smiling. He gets there, and his ball is in a hole. It had landed directly in an old divot, plugged. He calls an official. "Hey, embedded ball?" Official says, "Sorry, Shane. It's embedded in a divot, not its own pitch mark. Play it as it lies." You hit a perfect shot. You get punished because someone else didn't fix their divot. That is the cruelest joke in sports. Then an ESPN reporter jumps in. He starts adding his opinion on the rules. Lowry snapped. He chunked the shot into a bunker. He slammed his club. He screamed, "F this place." He made bogey. And as he walked off, he flipped the bird at the hole. Middle finger to the golf course. Honestly, we have all been there, Shane. We have all been there. When things go wrong, the mask slips. Max Homa is usually the funniest guy on tour, self-deprecating, chill. But at the Masters, he was broken. He had missed 5 straight cuts. His best friend and caddy, Joe Greiner, had just left him. And it wasn't a friendly breakup. He was ranked 81st in the world. He hits his tee shot on the 8th into the pine straw. He has to punch out. He threads the needle perfectly. Great shot. Except, there is a 4 caddy standing in the fairway. The group ahead was still putting. Homa's ball nails the caddy right in the backside. Homa's immediate reaction? Come on, dude! He threw his hands up, as if the guy standing there, doing his job, was the reason Max Homa was playing bad golf. He made the cut eventually. But blaming the help? That is not a good look, Max. Let's pivot from sudden anger to a slow burn of reputation. You spend years building a brand. You start a YouTube channel. You high-five every kid. You become the people's champ. And then, in 5 seconds, you light it all on fire. Bryson DeChambeau at the Open. His opening round was a disaster. He shot a 78. He was angry. By the final day, he was playing better, but the fuse was short. His tee shot on the 11th found the deep stuff. There was a volunteer standing there, an unpaid volunteer, just a golf fan helping out. He was pointing at the ball, doing exactly his job. DeChambeau marched over. He didn't say hello. He delivered a curt, sharp instruction. You can move out of the way. Thank you. The tone? Ice cold. It cut right through the wind. As the volunteer stepped aside, looking a bit hurt, DeChambeau turned to his caddy. He smirked. He muttered, "He was standing right in front of it." The gallery chuckled awkwardly. But someone was filming. It hit TikTok. It exploded. Suddenly, the people's champ looked like a bully. It makes you wonder, is the YouTube persona real, or is it just really, really good marketing? Sometimes the players aren't the bullies, the fans are. Then there is Brooks Koepka. Quail Hollow Koepka is playing terrible. He is missing the cut. A fan yells out, "That's what guaranteed money does to you, Brooks!" A direct shot at his LIV contract. Koepka stopped. He turned around. He stared into the soul of that man. "You want to come down here and say it?" Silence. Dead silence. The fan shrank back into the bushes like a frightened hedgehog. Koepka might be rich, but he is also scary. Don't poke the bear. And definitely don't poke Rory McIlroy about his past trauma. TPC Sawgrass. Practice round. Luke Potter, a college kid. He yells out a reference to Rory's 2011 Masters collapse, the worst moment of Rory's career. Rory didn't yell. He walked over. "Can I see your phone?" He took the kid's phone. And he just walked away with it, like a teacher confiscating a Game Boy. Potter got kicked off the property. He later apologized. It was a power move. And honestly, respect. Let's talk about when the crowds get out of control. The Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. We knew it would be rowdy. But Heather McMahon? She is a comedian. She was hired as the host on the first tee. She got caught up in the energy. 4,000 New Yorkers screaming. She started a DeChambeau chant. Fine. Then the crowd started chanting, "F you, Rory!" And McMahon repeated it into the microphone. She instantly realized she messed up. The vibe turned toxic. McIlroy was heckled relentlessly all weekend. By Sunday, McMahon was fired. She apologized. She offered to do a comedy tour in Ireland as penance. Maybe involve a Guinness dunk tank. When your redemption arc involves getting pelted with vegetables, you know you crossed the line. Okay, let's get weird for a second. Augusta National, the Masters, the most sacred ground in golf. You don't run, you don't yell, and you definitely don't relieve yourself in the creek. Jose Luis Ballister, 21 years old. He is playing with Scotty Scheffler. He has to go. Badly. He forgets where the bathrooms are. So, he walks down to Rays Creek, the most famous water hazard in the world, and he pees in it. The patrons in the grandstand saw everything. They cheered. He later said it was the loudest applause he got all day. He was proud of it, until the club had a word with him. By Friday, he was apologizing. I think we just move on. The internet never moves on, Jose. You marked your territory at Augusta. Legendary. Disgusting. But legendary. From the absurd to the serious. The biggest controversy of the year wasn't a smoke bomb or a pee break. It was a rule change. The LPGA and USGA drew a line in the sand regarding gender policy. The new rule? You must be assigned female at birth or transitioned before male puberty to compete. This directly impacted Hailey Davidson. She had just earned status on the Epson Tour. The rule stripped that status away. The LPGA said it was about fairness. Critics called it exclusion. It is a heavy, complex topic. It divided the golf world, and it is a conversation that is far from over. And finally, the case of the famous last name, Kai Trump, granddaughter of the President of the United States. She gets a sponsor's exemption into an LPGA event. She is an 18-year-old amateur, ranked 41st in the junior rankings. Not the world, the juniors. People were mad. They said she took a spot from a deserving pro. They said it was a publicity stunt. And it was. Round 1 was a disaster. She shot a massive number. She was nervous. It was painful to watch. To her credit, she bounced back in round 2 and played decent, but she finished dead last, 17 shots behind the cut line. Annika Sorenstam defended the invite. She said it was about growing the game. But let's be real, it was about selling tickets and getting clicks. And judging by the fact that we are talking about it right now, it worked. So there you have it. The 2025 season, it had pee in the creek, it had ripped locker doors, it had smoke bombs, it had banana peels defeating legends. It showed us that golf is beautiful, difficult, and completely insane. If this season taught us anything, it is this. You can have all the money, all the talent, and all the fame in the world, but one bad lie, one slow partner, or one hot mic can bring it all crashing down. And we will be right here to watch it happen. What was your favorite moment of madness? Was it the spit, the pee, the phone snatch? Let me know in the comments. And seriously, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm going to send Patrick Cantlay to your house to read you a bedtime story. And it will take him 6 hours to finish the first page. Don't let that happen. Hit the button.